Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 65. Tonight, we're talking the latest free update to Mario Golf, we're talking big savings on Nintendo Switch games, and we are talking about a rumored Chrono Trigger sequel? Chrono Cross thing? It's a remake of Chrono Cross, that's what I'm trying to say. All of that and more. Welcome to Nintendo Pals. I am one of the Nintendo Pals. My name is Andros, or that's what I go by here. And I am joined by my fellow Nintendo Pal, co-host, and all-around awesome guy, Micah.
Yep.
And we are also joined by super special guest. This is one of the co-hosts of Nintendo Fuse podcast and Switch Mania Playcast, and one of the founding members of Premium Edition Games, Barry Carenza. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. Hello, everybody.
There was a lot to say there. I'm so glad I didn't mess up mix up any of the various things that Barry works on. I mean, you are quite legendary in the Switch gaming space. There's a lot.
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
I'm just a guy.
I have got to say that it is quite funny how it came to be with you coming onto the show here. So I had seen you follow us on Twitter a while back, but at that point I did not know that you were one of the members of Premium Edition Games, and I was looking for new podcasts to listen to. I went through all of my regular podcast feeds and was going through and saw the Switch Mania Playcast logo and was like, that logo looks very familiar. Like I've seen a picture that looks very similar to this. And I'm assuming that the person that does your Twitter profile picture is the same that did the artwork for, or at least did it in the same style. I was like, wait, this guy follows us on Twitter. Wait, I know and then come to find out that sort of mutual friends in the podcast space with you guys had just recently hired on Phil Summers to work on a project for Premium Edition Games, and I'd just been like part of with the Nintendo Dads community. They had Phil Summers on, and so it was like all of these like pieces fell together. And I'm literally at home. I go to my wife and I'm like, I think I should reach out to this Barry Carenza guy and see if he'll come onto the show. And so I go onto Twitter to do that, only to find that Barry had already reached out to come onto the show a week ago, and I did not see the message. Oh, that was embarrassing. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh no. Yeah, so
these stuck up Nintendo pals won't even respond to my message.
Yeah. The funny thing is, so I have DMs open on Twitter, but it still puts them through like a messaging filter that you have to like click in to see new message requests, and I just totally missed that. But thank you so much for wanting to come on. It is hilarious because that all happened like the same day. I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Barry, see if he'll come on the show.
Yeah. I reached out and because I started listening to you guys, and I was like, we're doing Series 3 now, and it'd be great to get on and talk about that and just talk video games, and I was like, I'll reach out, and I never got a reply, and I was like, all right, we're probably busy, or I know you guys are busy guys, and then I get your message.
Probably not just dumb like it ended up being. I'm just like not.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt, okay?
Oh yeah, no, it's all on me. I am bad at Twitter. That is that. I'll own that. Um, well, with that out of the way, Barry, how are things going for you? We're filming this episode 2 days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So did you have a great holiday? What did you do for Thanksgiving this year?
I did. I had a great holiday. It was quiet. It was just my wife and I and my father and a cousin. It was just a nice small little gathering, which is good for me. I just enjoy sometimes having a little more quiet, and watched a little 8-bit Christmas and relaxed, which was
Dude,
a nice little.
I need to see that. It looks so good. Was it good?
It is.
You liked
It's cute. I mean, is it like Academy Award movie? No, but it speaks a lot to my childhood, and I think to a lot of other people's childhood. So I did that, and that was nice. And been so busy doing different podcasts and things with Premium and shows. So it was nice to have a nice quiet night. And of course, I followed that up by doing we did a Premium Edition Twitch stream last night, and now here I am again tonight. So it's like
back to it.
I'm back to it. It's the holiday's over for me. Let's go.
that is pretty great. Well, Micah, you've been also fairly busy over the holiday break. How has that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been good. I've had my whole immediate family together. First time in quite a while, in a few years, I think. And it's actually been a little louder than normal because I have a couple nieces here as well, and they're still pretty young.
Are we going to get a guest appearance?
Especially at 6:40 in the morning. The first day they got here, they're like so excited. They didn't end up, and there's also some slight time zone differences, but they didn't end up falling asleep until like 2 in the morning.
Oh boy!
And then one of them wakes up 4 hours later and comes into my room and tries to get me up. And I was not having that.
Yeah, my kids are morning people as well. My daughter wakes up like 6 a.m. almost every day, and for Thanksgiving for us, we went and visited a family that has a like a vacation home that they own about 3 hours from here, and my grandparents came down, and my great aunt and great uncle came with them. They're doing like a family vacation, and then also my aunt, uncle. It was actually a fairly big family gathering, which I have not had for Thanksgiving in a long time, probably since I got married. So it was a fun change of pace. But the bedtime routine got all thrown off because we're all staying in one room in this house. So I have 3 kids, and all I learned this week that my daughter does not have a whisper voice. She does not know how to whisper. does not. And so 6 in the morning, she's like, oh, someone's awake. Someone's making noise, or like, you're making the noise. You're awake. Shh, wake up everybody else. It was fun though. We had an absolute blast. Yeah, and of course the food was delicious. This is my aunt is an amazing cook. Like it's not quite a career, but could be and so this was a really, really good Thanksgiving dinner. And it was crazy because we're at someone else's place they're hosting. We bring a dish and then we don't have to do anything. It was wild. It's the first Thanksgiving in a long time we haven't had to make our own turkey, do all the stuff. But yeah. So we did not stuff a turkey for a Thanksgiving episode, Micah. We decided against that. We didn't want to put Micah in any sort of danger in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'd somehow hurt myself doing that.
But immediately following Thanksgiving was Black Friday. So I was thinking maybe for our first segment of our show, which is the What You Play, and we could also maybe talk about if we snagged any deals on Black Friday. So let's head into the first segment of our show, and that is What You Playing? Alrighty, so Barry, as our guest, what do you want to highlight that you have been playing lately?
I wish I had more time to play, but I'd say the main game I've been slowly working my way through is Shin Megami Tensei 5 for the Switch. Just a phenomenal RPG. So much fun. Difficult, but not too difficult. It makes you want to keep coming back, even if you fail. Like, no, I'll get it next time. That's probably the main thing. I'm still working my way through all the Animal Crossing updates, which they've had a ton of.
I'm in the same boat. I have not.
So
I haven't gotten everything. I mean, yeah, there's just way too much,
So much
to try and hit in like any sort of quick time period.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot, and playing a little Pokemon Unite as well, like the daily stuff. I'm still enjoying that. Just fun game.
So if I can ask, how many hours are you into Shin Megami Tensei?
Probably 18, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is. I don't know how close I am. I'm probably not going to finish it, and the only reason that is Endwalker comes out in a week for Final Fantasy 14, so that's gonna just absorb my life for a while.
Our buddy Red Mage, who was on last week, was like, "Yeah, I gotta finish all these games before Endwalker comes out." It's funny how games just I'm in a similar boat where like feels like I start a game and then it pushes everything else to the back burner, and then I'm starting another. And it's that's how the backlog builds up. I have all these half-finished games, like my Thanksgiving plate of half-finished every dish. Yeah.
Oh no, you gotta suffer through and eat everything on the plate, even if you want to die afterwards.
That's how you game as well, isn't it, Micah? You're like,
Oh, definitely.
Well, what have you been playing lately? Have you been suffering through?
Very little. I think the only thing I've played this last week is Metroid Dread for the stream, when I showed off a little bit of sequence breaking and also getting lost.
But
now that I was sequence breaking, I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing.
You looked incredibly like you weren't lost, like the whole time. I watched that stream that Mike was doing. And I was like, holy cow, Mike is incredibly good at this game. Like, you were moving so much faster than I ever moved in that game, and just owning everything. Like it was like nothing could stop Samus when Micah was in control. Whereas when I play, Samus is very much tripping over her own gun arm and like falling into walls, stuck in rooms. Yeah,
it helps when you've beaten the game like 5 times at that point. So
I was impressed.
Other than I potentially soft locked myself at the very beginning using some glitch where you can shoot through a wall. But I'd done what I thought to be the same thing yesterday, and I knew exactly where to go afterwards. But so after that first 45 minutes where I just had to restart the game, it went pretty well. But yeah, I don't even think I've played any Pokemon Unite this last week. I usually play it a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Last time I hopped on, it was like the day after Decidueye came out. I think that's how it's pronounced. Maybe.
Yeah, that just was the most recent one.
Yeah, so that's a fun one. I enjoyed that Pokemon character.
Well, it kind of transitions to I did pick up and have played the new Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and I'm loving it so far. It is an extremely faithful remake, meaning it's basically the same game. Like, if you're looking for anything different than the original, then you probably will be maybe disappointed, but I'm not disappointed because the original game I think is really good. Maybe one of the reasons I'm liking it a lot more is I'm doing a Nuzlocke, which is my second time the second time ever doing a Nuzlocke. I did one for Pokemon Fire Red and made it up till Victory Road and then just fell off playing. But this one I'm hoping to kind of make a regular stream thing, so I will hopefully finish. And it is so fun, and it is so much more challenging than I was anticipating it would be. Like, I am doing the added rule of no Pokemon centers, So I was thinking like this will be challenging because I'm gonna have struggles finding like healing items to heal my guys with, but no, the challenging part is running out of PP for each move, and you don't get those restocked. And finding elixirs in the wild is like doesn't happen. You don't find any anywhere. So I've employed some very interesting strategies where I've done things like learn a TM, then overwrite that TM, and then learn the same TM again, so I can have more of the same move to have like good odds against the gym leader, and farming in specific areas. So yeah, that's been really fun. Yeah, digging that. And then I'm also playing through still Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, and that is super fun. I want to play. Here's my problem: is I'm streaming all these games, and I want to play them on stream because I start them and I'm like, oh man, I want to like keep going with it on stream, and so then I don't feel like I can play it off stream, and so I end up in these like weird spots where like anytime I'm playing a game, I'm like, I should be streaming this, not just playing this, and that is a dangerous place to be in because I can't stream all the time. It's just not feasible. And then Black Friday, I did want to talk about. I did pick up. This is gonna really knock me down the Nintendo Pals rankings here, but I picked up for the first my own copy of Breath of the Wild. I have not owned Breath of the Wild. I have played well over 200 hours into that game on borrowed copies of the game. I'm currently borrowing Micah's copy. I was borrowing before our friend Eli lent me the game. I was actually played most of it on his Switch, actually.
Yeah, at that point you didn't even have a Switch.
Yeah, I came in the year after the Switch came out. I've always been a Nintendo fan. I made up for it. I got a day one OLED. That's my redemption. But yeah, it was $26, brand new, like absolute steal. I got it from GameStop.
That's insane.
And then I also got a Tom Nook shirt for $9 from GameStop, Black Friday deal. I didn't really pick up anything else Black Friday yet. I'm looking at a lot of the digital sales going on in the eShop, and there's a lot to sift through, and I'm like really having to talk myself out of spending all my money on all these sweet deals going on. Did you guys pick up anything for Black Friday, game related or otherwise? Any sweet finds?
You want to go first, Micah?
Sure, yeah. I haven't picked up anything yet, but I think I'm going to be picking up Boomerang X. I've had my eye on that one for a while.
Yeah.
It's down to like $12 until the end of the month. So I'll probably pick it up after all my family leaves in the next couple days and try it out.
Yeah, digital sales, I think, end on the 30th.
I think it was the 30th.
Yes, you got a
Yeah,
couple
double
days.
check
Don't
like how many
forget.
days do I have. Yeah.
Don't forget.
I
Micah's
should
notorious
theoretically
for
be picking up on the 29th. I like to leave it for the last day because then if I forget, it's like it was meant to be. I wasn't meant to buy that game.
Yeah, so let me tell you. So we were talking earlier about like games, like feeling buried alive in games to play. Like I've started. I'm in the middle right now of a Breath of the Wild speed run. It is not going fast, but I'm trying to cook every meal in Breath of the Wild. And that's like my goal. I'm so close to the end of that. But doing that, I've backburnered Pokemon. I've backburnered Wind Waker, Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing's way back there now. I'm like, man, I need to get to that. And I also have all the N64 games from the new NSO that I like still need to jump into. Like I just have so many things to play. So as I'm sitting there at Walmart holding Xenoblade Chronicles for $35, I'm like, I can't get this. I will not be able to finish it. I just don't have the time. And I have a little bit of buyer's remorse.
If you put that back, I lost a lot of respect for you because Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the best games on the Switch.
I put it back, Barry. I'm sorry.
Wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe you haven't played that game yet, Andros.
I was so close. That's the one. So we have a question later, and that's the one. It's on my Christmas wish list. But I just know I'm not going to get to it, and I'm not going to finish it because it's a long game. I know that, and I'm excited to try it because I've heard such great things, and it seems like one I would really enjoy. But the time commitment in my old man age, I just don't feel like I have the 70 plus hours I need. And that's for regular people. I'm slow, so it's gonna be like a 90-hour game for me. I was sad. I sat there for a long time holding the game going, it's $35. I regret it now. Yeah. Very just sad.
He's just gonna hop off. He's just gonna hop off now.
I'm just gonna leave. Why did I even come on this show?
Disgracing Xenoblade like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Xenoblade. I do have Xenoblade 2. Still haven't jumped into that.
Oh.
Probably won't.
Wow.
Micah, you can't stop. You stop. You haven't played them either.
Yeah, but I also haven't bought like any games recently. I've been very selective.
Yeah, on the budget. Well, I guess this transitions us well into the next segment of our show. So why don't we jump in? Let's talk some Nintendo news. So big savings on Nintendo Switch games. If you're on digital eShop, it's up to 50% off on select digital games through the 30th of November, and that ends at 11:59 Pacific time. So we get some extra time here. We can get it in here on the East Coast. We can get it in December, but you can't on Pacific time, Micah.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I was planning on waiting till 11:55 to fully make my decision to buy it or not.
Yeah. I honestly haven't had a time to like look at the eShop. You know, it's been go with family and stuff, and between stream, podcast, and prepping for the show, I just haven't got a chance to look at anything on the eShop. Yeah. Has anything jumped out to you guys? Or you guys got your eye on any indie titles?
I don't buy anything on the eShop. Everything I buy is physical, as a physical collector.
What? I don't believe it, Barry. No, I'm just
What about non-physical released games?
The only one I actually did purchase.
That's when he comes in and he physically releases it, Micah. That's his thing.
The only one I did was the Voice of Cards from Square, because I played the demo and like I need to own this, and I really wish it did have a physical. And I've reached out to Square, but nothing yet.
Square's been making such questionable decisions on where they release stuff. I mean,
100%.
the whole Pixel collection being
PC only. Not on the Switch. How is that not on the Switch? What the heck?
It makes me so sad. It just like blows my mind how bad of a decision that is.
Oh, terrible. But no, I mean, for me, if it's not physical, I probably won't touch it. But at the same time, between Nintendo Fuse and Premium, I'm also playing a lot of digital games because, you know, just either review codes for Nintendo Fuse, because publishers will send me review codes. And then for Premium, we're talking with a lot of developers and playing games and on deciding if this is something we want to pursue a physical on and start the discussions. So I am playing a lot of digital games. I'm just not purchasing them.
Yeah.
Well, that's even better.
Yes and no. See, it is better, but you know, when you have to sit there and go, all right, here's like 5 games you need to play through. What are your thoughts? You know, you can't be like, oh, this is an epic, RPG. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to relax. You have to look at the game from an objective point of view, change it up a bit. And you also have to know, like, now if I want to play like SMT5, I can't, because now I have to play another game or multiple other games. So it does change the perspective, and I have to give fair shake to them too. So I have to play them long enough to be able to make a decision. And when I have to review a game, I have to play them even longer to be able to review it. I can't just be like, well, I played it for 5 minutes, it sucks. It's or it's like I have to be like, all right, look,
play for 4 hours, it sucks.
Well, you know what, and that's true. You know, there are times where it's I've played it for a bunch of hours and be like, I just couldn't get into this game I tried, and that's a an actual review. But sometimes games have taken over, and I'll be like, I don't want to touch anything else. This game I'm reviewing is just too good, and that's happened too.
Yeah, Mike and I have done our a good. I've done a good amount of review codes.
Yeah.
You just recently got a
I think
capture
I've done
code.
one.
And it really is a mixed bag on the type of game you're going to get. Might not be something that you would have interest in normally, and sometimes that's a good thing. Like sometimes I've discovered on Switch that I actually am really into puzzle games. Like I didn't realize how much I enjoyed just a good puzzle solver until doing reviews for games like that. And we've been reached out to by indie publishers and developers to look at games, and I can say that there's a lot of stuff out there that is very good that just does not get seen. Nobody's going to see it. And
yes,
they're reaching out to people to try and get more spread, but I mean, we're not a huge, we're not like the 10 million
we're
subs.
releasing 3 games like that right now that are available.
Yes. Do you want to, well, I'm wondering if we should save this for a community corner, but no, let's talk about it right now. Why don't you talk about some of the games that you guys are releasing for Series 3 with Premium Edition?
Sure. So for those of you that are just discovering us and this conversation, thank you for paying attention. But as a physical publisher, one of the things we want to do is we want to give attention to games and developers that we feel don't get the attention they deserve, plain and simple. And the eShop, much like the Steam Store and PSN and Xbox Live, there's just so many games every week that most people, it's impossible to play them all. It's impossible to know them all. So most of them do get lost unless they somehow go viral and then they just get to the top of the list and everything else just gets buried even further, which is disheartening, unfortunately. So, it's our job to try and find the cool stuff and if we could work out something, bring it out physically to a whole new audience and get new attention. And I always tell people, look, if you're a physical collector, this is great. If you're like, and I've talked with a bunch of people, on the Switch, I'm only digital because I carry it around. That's fine too. You play the way you want. Then purchase these games digitally because these games are 100% worth it. The developers deserve the attention. As long as you're supporting the developers, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy. But if you like physical stuff, then we try and make the best packages we can to honor the games that we have the honor really to bring out. So Series 3 consists of 3 titles this time. Usually we do 2. We have got Cathedral, which is a 2D NES-style Castlevania / Metroid / Zelda adventure with some Shovel Knight thrown in there.
Yeah,
it's this
Knight.
sprawling world with a bunch of different areas, and it's pretty open-ended. You can, go most places unless certain areas you need certain items. Challenging bosses, just a ton of fun. I think I put 40 hours into it to 100% it. I just fell in love with this game. I just couldn't put it down. I was like waking up. I'm like, I can't wait to game and play some Cathedral. It is so good, and I'm so glad that we're able to bring this in. You mentioned Philip Summers. He is doing a mini, game guide for the first part of Cathedral. That's part of our retro edition. Which, as of this recording, we actually have 1 in stock right now. Just 1. It's our last one.
Wow.
So literally down to the wire. Beautiful edition. All of our editions also they do come with slipcases and sleeves, full color manuals, full color inlay art, and a challenge card where if you complete the challenge on the card, which is a challenge right from the developer, we'll send you in the mail a physical patch for you to put on your clothes or put with the game. It's just our way of saying congratulations.
You get
it's like a badge of honor.
Merit badge, man.
Yeah,
that's
really
so
cool.
cool.
Badge of honor. So
rad.
All of our releases have their own challenge and their own patch. The second game we're doing is Phenotopia Awakening, which you want to talk about games that just disappear from the eShop. This game I've wanted to talk about for so long because we've had it. And
this one, I listened to the latest episode of Switch Mania Playcast, and this one had my attention right away. So I went out and looked this one up I don't think I purchased it yet, but I'm planning on picking this one up. Just
There's like
it looks
4 retro
so
in
good.
stock right now. That's
Okay,
it.
okay.
4 retro. This one is a 2D 16-bit style with like pastel colors, beautiful fluent motions. It's a Zelda 2 style sprawling open world adventure. This one's like 60 hours long. This is a huge game with a lot of puzzles, side quests, bonus stuff to do, upgrades. It is just a masterpiece. And this is one of those titles that came out and just sank on the eShop. No one bought it. And the developer had been approached by 2 other companies before us, and they were ready to sign this game, and they asked, what are the digital sales? And the developer was like, they suck. And they backed away. They said, well, we don't want to do your game then. So when we approached them, he was like, no, you don't want to do this game. Thanks for reaching out. You don't want to do it. The sales suck. And we're like, we don't care what the digital sales are.
Don't
we
tell me what I want to do.
We think this game is amazing, and we had to convince him. We literally had to become cheerleaders, like convince him, like, no, please let us do this game. We want to do this game justice. And when we did, he actually had a bunch of unused art, and he had his team of artists ready to go. He always wanted it to be physical. So all the artwork you see between the premium standard and the retro, it's all from his artists and his team, and some fans actually. He commissioned some fans to do some art. So that's all him. Like this is the game he really wanted. This, he wanted like a chibi keychain in the retro edition. We got him a chibi keychain. So he's getting his dream game, and this game is absolutely worth your attention. Just like Cathedral, just a true masterpiece. And then the last game we're doing is Mighty Fight Federation, which again, not many people are talking about. This is a 3D arena brawler, a la Power Stone on the Dreamcast era. Just a ton of fun. It's up to 4 players at the same time. You got 11 original characters, and then you've got Toe Jam and Earl, you got Yooka-Laylee, you got Kunio and Ricky from the River City Ransom Kunio-kun series, and then you've got Miriam from Bloodstained, all in there as well with stages and stories, and it is just wild. It's cross-play online with Steam, PS4, and Xbox, rollback netcode. Just a true blast to sit down and play and have some fun with. And if you enjoyed Power Stone, you will enjoy this. And we modeled the whole retro edition and the premium standard edition around Capcom and Power Stone. The
Nice.
retro box is modeled after Mighty Final Fight from the NES. The soundtrack CD is modeled after Power Stone, the Sega Dreamcast first release, the US release. And the slipcase is modeled after the Power Stone collection for the PSP. All these games are open pre-order until December 16th. So it's $40 for the standard and $60 for the retro. The retros are limited to 500 on the website. Mighty Fight Federation is really close to selling out. And like I said, we actually sold out of Cathedral and Phenotopia. And for Black Friday, we put 50 more copies up, and they are practically sold out. We wanted to give back to everybody due to demand. And we're like, all right, some people did miss out. We want to give them a second chance. So we're happy to do that. But I'm just happy for these developers because they are phenomenal people and very, very talented. And all 3 of these games are absolutely worth your attention.
Yeah, on Phenotopia, Micah and I have talked about. We talk a lot about Zelda on the show, sometimes a little too much, but we always talk. We always talk about how Zelda 2 falls kind of low in the rankings as far as favorite, best Zelda games, but how the concept is so good and it needs to be redone. Little did I know that it has been redone. Indie developers have already taken that up. And Phenotopia is that.
Yes.
It is. Is Zelda 2 taken and perfected. So, if you're a Zelda 2 fan, and I know we have a lot on our show that actually love Zelda 2 and love the classic style Zelda games, go check out Phenotopia. Please, please do. They deserve that.
It comes with a 2 CD soundtrack and the retro. There's so much beautiful music. All the games have beautiful music, but Phenotopia is it's like the darling of the series. It's kind of swept up. We went into this series, everyone was like, oh, Cathedral, because we teased it. Everyone couldn't wait for Cathedral. And now a lot of people are like, Cathedral's great, but Phenotopia, did you see that? And it's true. It came out of nowhere. No one expected it. And it's something that we've known for a while and we couldn't talk about. Now I could tell is just wait till Series 3. You're going to get some really nice surprises. And then Mighty Fight fell into our lap. We weren't originally planning on doing it, and they're like, "Oh, it's done." Because one of our things is all of our releases are complete on card. We don't do downloads. We don't have updates. We make sure the developers are done with the game.
Yeah, y'all put the heavy emphasis. I mean, like it's all about the physical collecting, and if it's not done, it's not. Then it's not.
Not physical.
It's not really physical. Right.
No. So when we got Mighty Fight Federation, we were talking with the developers, and we said, "Who else are you adding?" And they said, "Miriam's the last character." So we said, "That's it? You no more?" He's like, "No, no more." So I said, "Okay. Well, now, if that's the case, we can make this a Series 3 title. Otherwise, we were just going to tease it." Because when we got Robot Named Fight, which was part of Series 2, we teased it with Series 1, and it was going to be Series 1. But Matt Bittner, the developer, told us, "Oh, I've got a big update planned and working on all this stuff." So we delayed it because we wanted to make sure that when people got their carts, that big update was included.
Yeah. It's a good call. Yeah. So premium edition games. I mean, you guys do fantastic work over there, and work with an amazing crew of artists and game developers and just all around. I mean, like, it seems like I don't know. I just hear absolutely nothing but praise everywhere I go and see premium edition games.
We're trying to, we try to raise the bar. At the local cons, we were called the new working designs, or the working designs of the Switch, which head of production Jeff is running with it. So, like, if you take a look at the pictures for, like, Cathedral, for example, you'll look at the manual. It's a black and white manual, and it looks really nice, but it's not really black and white. Everywhere you see white is going to be foil. So it's kind of like running with it. We're going to do that with the working designs foil. We're going to have some really cool stuff, and we're always shooting to raise the quality on all of our products. And we're always looking for artists. We feel every piece is a canvas, and we don't want to repeat art. We want to reach out, and we've reached out to artists in the community, just like smaller artists. We have internal artists too. Erica, who's amazing. We just got a new artist on the team that's doing Mighty Fight Federation. Amazingly talented guy. But we also reach out to other artists, famous, like Paul E. Niemeyer, who did Mortal Kombat, has done 5 of our slipcases now, and then other artists that just like, "Hey, I'm a local guy. I don't really do a lot, but here's my art. If it's cool and you could do something in the style we need, absolutely, we want to showcase it."
Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there for sure. Well, thank you so much for talking that up. We got a bunch of questions in the community corner that are addressed towards more questions about premium edition games.
Sure.
And so we'll jump over to that, but let's hop back over. Let's talk some more Nintendo news. Barry, did you pick up Mario Golf? No.
I picked it up, but I have not played it.
You haven't played it yet.
No.
Well, they did just release the last free update for. This is how the wording is: last free update for Mario Golf Super Rush, which includes new characters. You can play as Wiggler and Shy Guy. Plus, there are new courses and new modes, including like a target golf mode and like I think it's target golf. I might be mixing these together, but like there's a one shot, one putt mode where it's you got like 2 shots per hole. I have got to play. I didn't talk about this in what I've been playing because I played so briefly, but I did play on the new course, which is it feels very reminiscent of like a Rainbow Road course from Mario Kart. Every course is a character, so if you're looking at it from the map, you can see Mario. And the different shades of green make up the different parts of his character art, and the courses are it's a very cool. It feels like Mario Golf. I know there were a lot of criticisms towards the original levels looking very bland and looking very like this is just a golf game. It's not a Mario Golf game. There's not enough of a Mario flair to it. This is definitely Mario flair on both the new courses, so I'm pumped for that. And Wiggler as a playable character, never thought I knew I needed that but I did. He's great. Actually, he's super fun. His special, he gets really angry, turns all red like in the games when you jump on his head, and hits the ball, and it like does this like spread explosion type thing, and it's very cool. Very well designed character. I haven't played as Shy Guy yet, but Shy Guy's probably gonna be my new main. I love Shy Guy. Play as Shy Guy in Mario Kart exclusively. Yeah. Micah, Mario Golf. You haven't picked this one up.
I have not.
Are you tempted now? Wiggler.
I mean, not gonna lie, Wiggler isn't tempting me that much.
Oh,
I mean,
thought
if
it
it
was
was
your
like-
favorite Mario character.
If it was like a Goomba stack, then I'd be tempted.
Hey,
yeah,
if Goomba Stack can get a PhD, he can play golf.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's true. He probably does play golf. That's what he's a doctor.
Just not
that
professionally.
plays golf on the side. And then the last news item we have here. Oh well, wait. I do want to talk to you guys, get your guys' opinion on this. So last free update to Mario Golf makes it seem the last time they used that specific phrasing was in Animal Crossing. And they're like, "This is the final."
Yeah, and then
free
17 seconds later, they told us about the paid update.
Yeah. So my question is, what could they add as paid DLC that either of you guys think they can add anything that would be worthwhile? And do you want that, or do you like? What are your thoughts on DLC for Mario Golf?
I think you might be onto something. It very well could be a paid DLC coming out. Wouldn't surprise me. At the same time, if you look at like Mario Tennis, they had free DLC for a while and then it just stopped. It was like, this is the last one, and nothing else came from it. So they very well, I mean, Camelot could be working on something new. Just like we're diverting all resources to a brand new game.
Mario Strikers?
Maybe.
Oh, for real.
Well, Mario Strikers was what,
I-
Next Level, right? And Nintendo now owns Next Level, so.
Yeah. I guess that one wouldn't be Camelot.
I mean, they could do a Golden Sun 4.
They could.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
That's what they're working on.
I'd be so hyped.
You know, I talking about like these free updates, I think these free updates are great to, expand the longevity of a game. But I really would love to see them at the end of their life cycle do like a Nintendo Selects with all these games and have them be with all the DLC on the card, like a real complete version.
Yes.
Kind of like what they did in Japan with Zelda and Splatoon 2. Do that everywhere. Just here it is, Mario Golf on $20, comes with all the free DLC on the card. Upgrade. You get the people who are going to double dip because they want it complete, and then you're also going to the newer players that be like, oh, I didn't pick it up before, but now for $20 I'll get it, and I get all the free updates ready to go.
Nintendo
like
Selects need to come back for sure. For sure. It was a great program, a great way to I would go as far as to say that it introduced a lot of people to series that they would not have bought and led to more successful games on the Switch.
Well, do you think the Nintendo Selects was the ideal way of doing it, or was it the player's choice, which was before the Nintendo Selects?
Yeah, I don't know. Like my memory on Player's Choice is really bad. I don't remember too much about what the differences were.
Before Player's Choice, there was Classic Series, which was what they did in the NES, and it consisted of only 4 games.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Oh,
What games were that? Were those? Wait. Is that No, you'll just have to tell me. I don't remember.
It was Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, and Punch Out, and oh my god, why can't I think of the 4th game now?
So they re-released those as classic versions?
Metroid. It was Metroid. Yeah. So like the Punch Out was like not Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but Punch Out was Nintendo Selects. Zelda 1 and 2 were on gray carts, and they were Nintendo Selects. And Metroid is a yellow label with Samus like with her arm cannon up, as opposed to the 8-bit sprite work that the original release was.
Okay, yeah.
Those were Nintendo. Those were the classic series.
I didn't realize those were like a separate series. I
it had a
realize
banner
that.
on top of the box, in a red banner. It said classic series.
Yes. Okay.
So that was like the precursor to Player's Choice on the SNES and Game Boy, which is a precursor to Nintendo Selects.
And what are we gonna get now? Nothing.
Who knows?
We're gonna get nothing now.
No one selects.
They don't need to. Everything's selling too well.
It's true. It's true. It would be really cool. It seems like we're kind of getting some of these like steeper discounts on Black Fridays. But still, I mean, it's nothing like Nintendo Selects. Nintendo Selects were an incredible deal on 3DS, and Nintendo Selects was also Wii, right? So yeah, it was
Wii, 3DS, and Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U. Those games were all were a lot of games went on Nintendo Selects because Wind Waker HD I got via the Nintendo Select version of that, and it's like $20. It's crazy cheap. Yeah. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we see something like that come here. But Mario Golf for paid DLC, Michael, what do you think? Do you think that would be a good game for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think they could add at least new courses and probably new characters. I don't know if they'd want to add new modes in that. I mean, it'd definitely be more tempting to get it if it had new modes, but I think a lot of people wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I think for me the only thing that would make sense, because Mario Golf it's not Mario Kart. It's not Smash Bros. This isn't the game that I would think first off, like, let's put some paid DLC for this game. It's not Animal Crossing. You know, there's these games that are kind of on the front lines, front runners, really successful series that make sense to me to do paid DLC for. But Mario Golf is not one that I would think would get that. So if they do, I think it has to be something kind of big. And for me, I think that would be like a crossover. So let's do a Zelda course with Link and Zelda as playable characters kind of thing. Or maybe they add like Sonic and do a Sonic course. Something along those lines where it's a big crossover event, not a more Mario.
Something to make it special.
Yes.
Would be awesome.
As paid DLC.
Because, I mean, I'm just kind of thinking I mean, even Animal Crossing would be a really good fit. Like, add Animal Crossing characters and course.
Yeah, Villager.
Just let you upload your island and you can golf through it.
Oh, man.
That'd be really great.
That would be really
awesome.
Cool, but that definitely not happening.
Never happening.
Not from Camelot, let me tell you that.
What if we go back to Wii Sports Resorts Island, Woohoo Island? I mean, it's become a character in Pilot Wings and Mario Kart, so why not Mario Golf?
Yeah.
Smash Brothers too, actually.
And it's just the Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort golf courses. It's just more of those. That would be great. But that would be a hit to my dream of getting a sequel or remake to Wii Sports on the Switch. It's the one game they haven't ported from the Wii U. One of the one game.
Well, there's a bunch still.
There is. So it's the one game that kind of makes sense. Because like Nintendo Land, I still don't see how they could port it. I think that has to happen.
They could all be done, but you'd need multiple Switches for a lot of them.
Which I don't think they're going to do that. That's too complicated.
I think the one that has the best chance is Xeno X.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Zelda games.
And
Zelda games, yeah. But those are ports. So
those are already.
It's weird. We're gonna port some ports. Like
there's still Star Fox Zero and Guard, and there's still Game and Wario.
Please don't
really
port those.
What? Devil's Third.
No, I would rather.
I feel like Star Fox Zero gets a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed it. I do kind of wish it was longer. I am one of like 3 people that actually enjoyed the aiming and flight being separate.
I got motion sickness going back and forth between the screens. I couldn't play more than a couple levels.
Oh, really?
I think the game looks pretty, but it's definitely one of my. It's definitely my least favorite Star Fox to control. It's not bad. It's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. That's for sure. I'll give you that, Micah. But it's not as good as other Star Fox.
I genuinely enjoyed the controls of it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
More so than like the original
Really?
that I played so much.
Well, that's
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean, you get.
sacrilegious, I think.
Wow.
I mean, I just enjoyed the multitasking. You can dodge something while shooting something else. It
That's true.
it
There were
had
some
like
benefits.
a steep learning curve, and sometimes it wasn't always easy. But I feel like the benefits outweighed.
The multiplayer was fun too. I don't know if that was like when I played.
Oh
your
yeah,
copy of
because
it,
when you just have someone who aims and someone who flies.
yeah, isn't that an intended design? Like there was a 2-player mode, or were
Yeah.
we just doing that?
No,
can't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was intended because I
Okay.
don't know how we would just do that.
Like, hey, why don't you take it?
Here
Yeah, I
you
don't
get
think
the
we would have
half,
thought
I
of
hold
that.
the other half. Yeah.
I don't think we would have thought of that. Oh man. So yeah, there you have it. Let's get Wii Sports. It always comes back to let's put Wii Sports on Switch. And then we have our last news item here. I wasn't sure to include this or not because it's kind of a funny award, but Metroid Dread won Game of the Year at the Golden Joystick Awards, not at the Game Awards. And it was Best Nintendo Game of the Year, which I feel like is an interesting award to win. I mean, there were a lot of great Nintendo games came out this year, but yeah, for sure, nothing tops Metroid Dread that came out this year. I don't even remember what else was in the running. I think WarioWare was up there.
Mario Party,
Mario Golf,
Pokemon, Mario Golf.
I don't think Pokemon was on there because
New Pokemon Snap.
Oh yes, new Pokemon Snap was.
Skyward Sword.
That's a good one though.
New Pokemon Snap is up there, but Metroid Dread definitely.
What about 3D World? Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury was this year.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you could like really count that though.
Bowser's Fury is a whole new game.
That's true. I feel like you'd have to separate the Bowser's Fury part.
Yeah, Bowser's Fury is really good.
It's awesome.
It's a little short. It was a little short and a little samey in its design, but I mean, it was like, oh yeah, give me more of this. Like that. That's where I'm looking forward to seeing what could come.
Yeah, hoping to hear about the next like Mario Odyssey 2 a few months after that released, but not yet.
And I still want that too. I think those should be separate things. So this is going to be my philosophy on Mario games here. Mario split. Well, Super Nintendo, it was a 2D series, right? Up till Super Nintendo, which Super Mario World would be Mario Bros. 4, right?
It is in Japan.
Yeah. So and then the series kind of continued 2D via handheld with the Super Mario Land series, and went 3D for the N64. But then comes full circle, we get a new 2D game with new Super Mario Bros. on mainline consoles for the Wii. So we got both 3D and 2D Mario. So they existed as separate entities. So there's now 2 going series for the same IP, but in different dimensions. I think there needs to be a third. And that is the 3D Land, 3D World in between. It is not 2D, it's not full 3D, it's 2.5. It's not even 2.5 by what most people consider, but it's like in the middle there. It's a 3D game designed like the 2D games, and I want the next evolution of that.
Except Bowser's Fury was more like that type of control in a 3D open world hub with just mini objectives, just like the stars.
So I guess it's just a second way to do 3D. that's what I want. I love Odyssey. I love Odyssey so much. I don't want them to abandon that type of 3D game and go full on 3D World, but I don't want them to leave 3D World out, you know? I really like 3D World, and I really like the direction they were going with Bowser's Fury. So, Nintendo, I mean, there's no stopping you. Mario can have 3 pillars in its series, and and that's excluding kart and sports and all of the other things Mario does. Man. I'm seeing some chat here with we still need Mario, we still need Galaxy 2. Galaxy 2 is great. I was really like, why did that not come? Just swept under the rug.
The only thing I thought about was the Yoshi control because Yoshi control used like motion control but also movement, and like some people are like, well, maybe that won't work with the portable, like playing it portably. They wouldn't be able to do that. So
here's another like hot take on my Mario philosophy here. I don't feel like Galaxy and Galaxy 2 were true 3D Mario games either. I feel like they actually fall more in line with 3D World. They're very linear. Like the level design is such that it is.
I can see that.
You're following a path from A to B.
So you would put them with 3D World and 3D Land, and then you would have Mario 64, Sunshine, and Odyssey together.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like 3D games can be linear. I just want to call them like open world games.
Yes. Well, Galaxy was definitely not even remotely open world. Whereas in 64 and in Sunshine and in Odyssey, there is a path you can follow, but you're not locked to that. Galaxy, you are locked to that to an extent. Like you're not going to be, I'm going to go this route to get to the end. It's not a sandbox. I guess that's probably the best way to put it. I mean,
like our Odyssey and whatnot, they give you an area and you like do what you want in it to get stars. Essentially.
Now, Maverick Hunter Zero in chat says, I don't want you to misunderstand. He says Galaxy was meh compared to most Marios. I love Galaxy. I love Galaxy. I just think it's a different category than other 3D Marios. I separate it in my mind, and people love it. People absolutely. A lot of people.
I really enjoyed Galaxy.
Say
Galaxy is great.
Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are their favorites.
100% at that game.
A lot of people say 3D World is their favorite.
3D World is great too.
So I think that it's just like a different type of Mario game that people like, that more linear with the 3D controls. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no,
Mario Sunshine's where it's at.
Maverick Hunter Zero, it says Sunshine's his favorite. Listen, it's a game.
It's so good.
That's all.
Sunshine. It's a great game. It's just an acquired taste at the same time.
I suffered through it. I did it. I beat it, and I'm not going back. Oh my gosh, I had such a hard time. with the controls. It was no Mario 64. I mean, I'll tell you that. But
you mean you don't like using FLUDD and pushing yourself on a leaf over lava and collecting 1 million blue coins? Come on.
I mean, that sounds awesome.
Like the worst
That's the
part
best.
of FLUDD. FLUDD's cool. FLUDD is really cool. The worst part of the game is when you don't have FLUDD.
When it ended.
No,
I like when you don't have FLUDD though. Like it makes it more challenging.
It does, because Mario controls like a sponge that stops on a dime. Like, it's so weird. It just it doesn't feel right. Odyssey's my favorite, I think. I think I've got to say Odyssey's my favorite Mario game because of how Mario controls. It just feels like the move set is so vast and everything feels very natural. And I never feel like, oh man, he did that, I didn't do that. It all feels like things are intentional in every movement you do. Level design, there's some really good levels in that game, but maybe it's not the strongest in the series. I don't know. We're getting into some like, what's my favorite this, what's my favorite that, and we do have a question about that for Community Corner. So why don't we head to the next segment of our show so we can get to Community Corner? But the next segment of our show is actually the Rumor Mill. Alrighty, and today in the Rumor Mill, as I teased at the start of the show and just butchered my tease, Chrono Trigger sequel Chrono Cross might be getting a remaster. A lot of leaks, a lot of rumors are pointing to Chrono Cross getting a remaster and getting a remake of sorts. And the remaster seems to be bigger than just a straight port of the game. What are y'all's thoughts? Did either of you play Chrono Cross?
Love it.
You love Chrono Cross?
I actually have not.
Oh,
I did really enjoy Chrono Trigger, so
they're two different beasts.
Yeah, I somehow just didn't even know about Chrono Cross for a while.
Did you know that Chrono Cross is actually not the first sequel to Chrono Trigger?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that.
Really? The first sequel is a side story called Radical Dreamers. It was for the Satellaview for the Super Famicom, and a lot of it's like a text adventure, and that's where like Kid first appears, who's in Chrono Cross. So yeah, Chrono Cross. I think if you go into Chrono Cross expecting Chrono Trigger, you're gonna find yourself sorely disappointed because it's a very different beast. It's part of the same series. You will have references for sure, and there's ties.
Appearances for
There's ties, but Chrono Cross is a completely different beast of a game. It instead of bouncing between times, you're bouncing between worlds, and you also have an insane amount of characters that could be in your party, and you don't get them all. Like each playthrough, you get different characters, and I think you can play multiple times to recruit them all. But I love it.
Like a kind of like a new game plus where you just keep your characters.
So you keep going through. The music in Chrono Cross is phenomenal. Like if you never played it and you just watch like the opening theme is fire. It is so good. Just like the opening cinematic, just to watch that, just to listen to the music. And I do that sometimes because that song is fire. Chrono Cross it's one of those sequels that I think if you go into it's like Zelda 2, right? You go into Zelda 2 expecting more Zelda 1, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you go into Zelda 2 expecting, oh, this is something new, this is a different take on Zelda, different things are experimented on, you're going to find an enjoyable game. And it's the same thing here. Go into Chrono Cross as an RPG set in the Chrono universe, but with different, the combat is different, the gameplay is different, the story is different. But it's still a masterpiece, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a struggle that games have to, like, especially when, your predecessor's Chrono Trigger, to live up to that, hype. And Zelda 2 has the same problem. I do think that it is a great game. It's just so different, like that's, yeah. I think a remaster for this would be really cool, but to be completely honest, I'd rather get a Chrono Trigger something than Chrono Cross. I do think it's great. I would love to see more Chrono Cross, but I would love to see more Chrono Trigger, because that game has not been ported enough. Even if it's just a port, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to see this remastered, a la like Final Fantasy VII remaster. But I think Chrono Trigger would be very cool for that kind of thing. But even if they just bring it over straight.
Well, I mean, if you look at like Final Fantasy VII remastered, they changed a lot. They changed, including the core combat, right? It's like an action RPG as opposed to turn-based. You look at Square's other remakes, the Mana series. They did Secret of Mana, and more successfully, they did Trials of Mana. Mm-hmm. So if they did it more in that vein, where it's much more faithful to the original, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I would love that as well. I would love a faithful to the original. I would also love a complete relook at the game. I like those. I like both those routes. It seems like it's hard to please the fans by going.
Oh, it's impossible.
You just can't mess it up if you change things.
Exactly. Yep. If you change things, it's like you've ruined the golden goose. It's rough. And I think Pokemon decided that it was too risky to do that for a game like Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and they went as safe as you can go. Like this remake is as safe as it gets, guys. Like it is, they did not take any risks. They added maybe a couple quality of life improvements, like XP share is automatic. I don't know if that's even an improvement. Some people might say that that's not good, but yeah. Question in chat. Is it Mana or Mana? Trials of Mana? Trials of Mana. How do you pronounce it, guys?
I've always gone with Mana.
Yeah, I usually go Mana. Sometimes I'll do Mana, but
I do Mana as well.
Either
Mana.
one is incorrect.
Trials of Mana. That's how we
Trials
say
of
it.
Money.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Square
That's-
Enix Money.
Wait, that's my life. That's not Square's game.
Suikoden.
Trials of Money. So, well, let's move on from here while I play Frog's theme in my head. Greatest song of all time. Let's move on to the last segment of our show, and let's head to the community corner. And we have a lot of questions in this week's community corner. I posted out on our Discord looking for questions from the community. And, if you're here watching live in chat and you want to pitch in a question, feel free to do so. We do see those on and we'll add them to the list here. But our first question here actually was from last week. We just didn't have time to answer it. And I feel like this is a great one to start with. From $2 Hero asks, what is the best cheese? I have an answer. I'm going to go with smoked Gouda. Smoked cheese, so good. If you haven't had like a smoked cheese, that's the way to eat. I'm kind of a weirdie. But no, foreshadow here. I'm not as weirdy as some people in this call for cheese. But I don't like eating plain cheese. I can't really do it.
That doesn't seem that weird.
I have to have it on something or with something, like a cheese with a cracker. That's how it has to be for me. I can't just eat straight cheese. I think it's a texture thing. I don't know. But I can eat straight smoked Gouda. That's because it's just so Gouda. Bad joke, dad joke. Barry, what is the best cheese in your opinion?
For me, as an Italian, I gotta go with mozzarella. Just the classic, on virtually everything, and stringy and delicious.
It's good. And, there's different levels of mozzarella. There's great value Walmart bag mozzarella.
Oh, God. Garbage. You get the fresh mozzarella. Oh.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Once you go to, like, fresh, good mozzarella, it's hard to go back. It's hard. You can't, really. All right, Micah, I saved the best for last. What do you think is the best
That you
cheese?
did. I think the best cheese is a cheese you take and throw into the trash, where all cheeses belong in the trash.
Wait, you don't like pizza?
I do like pizza.
Well, then you have to like mozzarella.
Without the cheese.
What? That's not pizza.
That is pizza.
Cheeseless pizza.
Okay, I got a question. What do you think is the most important ingredient for a pizza?
The cheese.
No, it's the bread.
No, well, that's
Without
also
bread is just sauce and things.
Oh my God.
And then it's the sauce.
Barry, between our disrespect towards Xenoblade and now to cheese, I feel like we have permanently broke Barry. He's not going to ever come back.
Not disrespect to cheese. It's disrespect to the pizza. I mean, I don't know where you are. You said you're East Coast, but I mean, if you ever walk
West
into
Coast.
Oh, you're West Coast.
He's West
okay,
Coast.
that explains it. You walk into New York City and you say cheeseless pizza is the best. You're liable to get shot.
I've done that before.
Oh, you have. And you live to tell the tale.
And I live to tell the tale.
And the
You were a
workers
brave man, sir.
look at him and are like,
Oh man.
I respect you.
I have been friends with Micah for a long time. Micah, you had some sort of like negative experience with cheese as a kid, right? Like that was
I ate it and I was like, wow, cheese is gross.
Yeah. And have not really like you've given it a try since. You still don't like it.
I have given it multiple tries.
I have tried cheeseless pizza and it's pretty good. I will say it's actually decent.
You know what it is? It's a breadstick dipped in marinara sauce. That's what it is.
And it's
not
good.
pizza.
But with all the other good ingredients. I mean, what is a breadstick if not once you dip it in marinara sauce, it's essentially a pizza.
No, it's a breadstick with marinara sauce. It's not a pizza.
I have a hard time defending Micah's opinion on cheese and on pizza, but I do like to throw in here that I do love I do not love, but I do like cheeseless pizza, but I prefer it with cheese. I mean, let me clarify. I do prefer pizza with cheese, but I'll eat it. I'll eat it cheeseless.
It's a whole different beast.
You know, there's a lot of people that can't do cheese, right?
Yeah,
Like a
that's
dairy
different.
intolerance. That's different than, you know, being
Yeah, I
an
can't
absolute
do it
heathen.
because I respect myself too much.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Well, you know what? You
$2
do
hero.
you. As long as you're enjoying yourself. It's not pizza though, but that's what.
Oh, it's definitely pizza.
$2 hero. Thank you for that question, and hope you liked that absolute hot take here. We learned
I
something
do just gotta
new.
say, I essentially like. There are only two things pretty much that I don't like on pizza, and that is the cheese and pineapple. Essentially anything else, and it's good.
Yeah. I like
That's a whole
pineapple.
nother conversation.
Yeah. I don't want to start another war here on what is pizza. That's so great. Thank you so much for the question, $2 hero. So let's head to the next question here. From Knock on not on Twitter, on Discord, asks, "Hey guys, could you rank the Zelda games from least favorite to most favorite? Not all of them, but the main ones." And I did actually forward a link to Knock, the episode Micah and I did where we did rank all of the Zelda games, but that list was a combined list. So right now, I think let's do what do you guys say? Top 3, top 5 for each of us? Like what are our favorite games in the series?
I'm quickly typing up a list of all.
Yeah, top three. Top 3 requires less thinking on my part.
Top 3. Well, let's
Top
do top 5. We'll do top 5, and you if you want to throw in honorable mentions, you can.
That's fair.
Do you have your list ready, Barry? You go first.
I actually do have my list ready.
All right.
So for me, number 5 would
Okay.
be Zelda 1, the original Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
It doesn't have all the modern amenities that came later, but it really set the groundwork for where Zelda came about. It was the first game with saved features, really started a whole genre, and was really like, one of the first open-ended, games you really can explore. You can do dungeons out of order. Just a classic. Number 4, I am gonna go with Link Between Worlds on the 3DS.
I can see where your list is heading. It's going to be very different than mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Just I like the ability to rent or purchase items to allow you to go in dungeons in any order. I love the turning flat and using the puzzles around that, and the low roll and high roll. It really turned the conventions from A Link to the Past, what we all knew, on its head, and I thought it was a great adventure. Definitely a more modern adventure. Number 3, I'm going to go with Link to the Past. Truly a remarkable game. Again,
you're gonna have some angry folks here. We have a whole ton of people that like Link to the Past is number 1.
There's nothing wrong with that. Link to the Past was Link to the Past was my number 1 title for a year, and it was a really, really great game, and it's still a great game. And I like the added Four Swords content, which most people have never played. But yeah, Link to the Past, it's a classic, hands down.
It's
a fantastic game.
This is the thing with ranking Zelda games, is that there is no such thing as a bad Zelda game.
No, there isn't.
All of them are good. Like the most questionable might be Triforce Heroes, but I
enjoyed Triforce Heroes.
But that was still a good game. Yeah, that's so like every game is really good.
Exactly. Yeah. So number 2, I'm gonna go with Breath of the Wild. It's a masterpiece. Everyone knows it. There's not much to say, but Breath of the Wild it also helped me during a very tough time in life, and just allowed me to escape. And it's just a real another masterpiece. It just, it says again another whole like subgenre, in the sense of this is Breath of the Wild, like Genshin Impact, Immortals Phoenix Rising. There's a bunch of games like that now. Do some honorable mentions before number 1. I'm gonna say Four Swords, just because
Let's go.
it's overlooked. So many people like put the Zelda games and they go Four Swords Adventures. I'm like, that's a different game than Four Swords. I had that in college. We played that a lot, in our dorm rooms. Multiple GBAs, just a ton of fun. Four Swords was, if you didn't have players, it wasn't as fun, but with players, it was great. I'm also going to give honorable mention to Wind Waker. Just a truly fun experience that got better with the Wii U version. And my number one pick, I'm sure there's people out there like going, "Oh, it's got to be Ocarina of Time. It's got to be Ocarina of Time."
Better
Majora's
not
Mask.
be.
And it's not. It's Link's Awakening, which should have been hinted at when I said Link to the Past is my favorite for a year, because Link's Awakening came out the next year. Link's Awakening was just a somber game. It really turned all Zelda conventions on its head. It took you in a new direction where you assumed, oh, it's going to be like Link to the Past. And in many ways it was, but in many ways it wasn't. And just by the time you got to the ending, you were just floored. And to answer your question, all versions. The Game Boy version was classic in its own right and is still a ton of fun, especially because you could do some glitches to really mess around with it, like the zone glitch where you can like start moving and quickly press like select, and then you back out and you're on the other side of the next screen, which can get you into all kinds of weird trouble. The DX version added the colored dungeon and the camera features, which was cool. And then the Switch remake was fantastic. The graphics are beautiful. The Dungeon Maker was a lot of fun, even if it was limited. And it was a faithful remake, and it was wonderful to be able to experience that again. And like all the little cameos, because you have the Mario characters, you've got Kirby, you've got Sim City in there with Mr. Right, you've got the Prince Richard from the game that never came over into America. Just as a classic, the ability to take it on on the go was this wonderful big adventure you could take on the go. Really impacted me as a child, and Ballad of the Windfish is hands down the best Zelda piece put to music. I'll stand and die in that argument.
Man, that is. Oh shoot! I hit a sound effect here, trying to hit numbers on my notes. That is really cool, because I don't think I have heard someone give that as their number one. I know a lot of people really like Link's Awakening and will sing its praises, but it's just so overshadowed by games like Breath of the Wild, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Micah, you want to give your top 5 here?
Sure, yeah. I feel like it's been too long since I've played a lot of at least the older 2D Zelda games for me to rank them too high. But I will put Oracle of Seasons / Oracle of Ages as 5. That's a game.
They're two different games, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're close enough.
They're nowhere near close enough. They're two different games.
They're relatively close. But
he's just cheating to get 2 onto the top 5.
Exactly.
That's what he's trying to do here.
He's trying.
I played through both of them like a couple times back in the day. Definitely enjoyed that. I don't know, my 4th, I might put Skyward Sword. Just I enjoyed the motion controls. I thought they were pretty fun. They made the game unique. A lot of people didn't like them, but it's too bad for them.
I mean, Micah, we're learning tonight that you were a fan of controls that nobody else liked.
For real, though. I mean, they shake things up. As long as they are terrible when they shake things up. But I didn't think they were like
literally
a lot of people
shaking
did.
things up with the motion controls there.
Well, you can play the Switch version now and not use motion controls.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 3, probably Twilight Princess. Just because it was good, I guess.
It was good.
I don't have like any specific reasons why I thought that one was so good, but it was to me. Number 2, I will go with Wind Waker, which is, I feel like it's the original Breath of the Wild, kind of. I feel like they take quite a few things from that and enhance them and make them better for Breath of the Wild. And of course, since I just made that connection, Breath of the Wild is number one for me.
Yeah. This list doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me at all. This is, but it's a good list. So you went definitely more 3D Zelda, which
Yeah.
Barry felt like went more for the like classic 2D style Zelda. All those,
I just need
all those
to. I
games
just need
minus
to
Breath of the
replay.
Wild.
I remember
were
having a
2D.
lot of fun with Minish Cap as well.
Minish Cap is
A Link to the Past. That one had been so long since I played it, though.
So
I remember those ones being a blast.
I'll quickly.
But I don't
run
remember
through.
them well enough to put them on my list.
Do you have any honorable mentions you want to give, or
Just those
Just
two,
kinda did.
essentially. An honorable mention, Ocarina of Time. My honorable mention of it is it's not nearly as good as I thought it was.
played through it recently? So this
Please.
is our thing going, Barry. I'm sure you've listened to a couple of our episodes, so I'm sure you have heard Micah smack on Ocarina of Time.
It's just not that
So
good.
you're about to be disappointed in my list.
It's just
friend.
not that good.
So my list here, my number 5 is Skyward Sword. I actually really like Skyward Sword. I love the story behind Skyward Sword. I think that's probably the biggest pull for me, and probably some of the reasons that these are ranked the way they are, because the gameplay is very good if you weren't too offended by the motion controls, and the HD port of this game is so good. It is so good. Number 4, a new entry to my list, Micah. Wind Waker is at number 4 for me, and it may move higher once I finish it. This is my first playthrough of Wind Waker, playing through Wind Waker HD on the Wii U, and it is fantastic. Holy cow, it is such a good game. And there's just, it instantly is better than Skyward Sword to me, because it's like Micah said, it's like a precursor to Breath of the Wild. Had the camera controls, has the pick up weapons combat, the open exploration,
The Korok Leaf.
Yeah, the Korok Leaf, the glider, which is way better than the glider in Skyward Sword. That was like barely a glider. I don't even know why they had that. It was like, pull this out. It's just a stop you from falling button. It's really what it is. Number 3, I'm going to put Ocarina of Time at number 3. I hold a super special place in my heart. This is like, I always said it was like tied for number 1, but the more I have thought about it, it's in the 3rd spot for me, because
The more you realize it's not actually that good.
well, no, I like it a lot. I like Ocarina of Time a ton. I do think it maybe hasn't aged as well as like Wind Waker has aged so well. Holy cow! If they released Wind Waker today, I wouldn't even bat an eye. It's just that good as is. So yeah, that Ocarina of Time maybe hasn't aged quite as well, but it is so good. Like the dungeons are so memorable. The music, and I really liked the story. Even though some would say like there isn't much there to it.
My recent playthrough it was a lot simpler than I remembered it being. I remember being like really in depth.
Yeah, I think you
really
fill a lot of
much
gaps.
to it.
I think you fill a lot of gaps with your imagination in that game, like what happened between young Link and adult Link, and the time travel mechanic. It was just a really cool concept, really cool, an absolute awesome jump into the 3D space for gaming, I think, and a legend among most gaming. It like set the groundwork for 3D gaming. Number 2 for me is going to be Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess is very good. I feel like it's a more refined Ocarina of Time. However, that introduction to that game is so long. It takes so long before you are Link, hero in the hero's garb, and got the sword, and like it's so slow. Probably the slowest introduction to a Zelda game out of any, and I think that's where for a lot of people it falls very low on the list. If you can make it past that, it's going to be a really, really fun Zelda experience. And again, music, the story is phenomenal. The characters are all really, really fun and cool. I love it. But number one for me is very, very solidly Breath of the Wild. I love that game. I love that game. I saw in chat someone said that they missed traditional dungeons. I do miss the traditional dungeons. I hope we see some of that in the sequel. But the gameplay for Breath of the Wild is perfection in my mind. I think that it is like the perfect Zelda game to control and to play. And it's just so fun. The story in it's pretty good. It's not as good as some of the other games on my top 5. I might even say it's probably one of the weakest stories among these 5. But it's pretty good. I love the open world exploration. It's a great callback to the original Zelda. There's so many references to so many other games. I could just gush about how great Breath of the Wild is, and I'm going to give an honorable mention to the sequel, which will probably take the number 1 spot when that comes out. I also want to give an honorable mention to Link's crossbow training. Love that.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you put that on your list somewhere.
Number one, Link's crossbow training.
It's a fun little game.
It is so good.
Yeah.
I wanted more with the Wii Zapper. I felt like there were a couple mini games in it where you are fully controlling Link in a 3D space with that, and it is so fun. It is so fun and felt like this is where Metroid should go. And it kind of did, but not really. I wanted more of that. Yeah. Thank you so much for the question, Knock. Hopefully that's a good answer for you there. We went pretty in depth there, so we'll move on to the next question here. Knock asks one more question. If you could have one weapon or power-up from any Nintendo franchise, what would it be?
Who's going first?
Kirby's ability to eat whatever he wants and not gain weight.
That is not an answer. That's thinking outside the box.
Hands
big brain,
down,
big
the
brain.
best ability.
Yeah, it is a really good ability.
You know, I gonna laugh because I was gonna say Kirby just in general, the ability to fly, to be invincible, to be able to steal people's powers, just have all the powers.
Yeah,
I didn't think of, because I really honed in on it. Like, it has to be a weapon or a power up, like a thing you can hold, not like a character. I went a different route.
I could also go with Samus's ability to be like so calm and collected in different situations.
If we're gonna have to be like an actual item, I would be probably the twin hooks from Twilight Princess.
Yes.
I would kill myself.
Be able to
that.
just be like Spider-Man.
Can we please, Nintendo? I don't know. I'm sure you've already added this into Breath of the Wild 2, but if I can ask for any one thing, it's the double hook shot. I want that in Breath of the Wild.
I would actually rather have like
bad.
a grappling hook, like from Wind Waker, but just let me throw that onto a whole bunch of things and just like swing.
Hook shot was so much better. Just to be able to pull yourself right away.
Yeah, being able,
You
but
were Spider-Man
the potential of swinging with a grapple hook, I think
that would actually be really cool. So you could choose to retract, or it could turn into like the whip power up, and you could swing like a vine.
So it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Dude.
essentially.
Nintendo, this is a free idea. Please, Doug Bowser, I know you listen to the show. Not like Doug Bowser gets to make those kinds of decisions.
No.
But my pick, I came up with. I really struggled with this. I was like, oh, should I go for the Master Sword? Like there's not anything I can really use.
Are you slaying any evil in your life?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Sheikah Slate. I want the Sheikah Slate from Breath of the Wild. It has all.
It's called a cell phone.
Yeah. And
my cell phone can't spawn bombs.
Can blow up.
Yeah.
So.
Is it a Samsung?
Is it a
Maybe.
Samsung? Oh, that's too.
You know,
good.
if I didn't get sick, I would totally love the screw attack from Metroid, but I would be hurling so much.
The space jump.
With a space jump
Just
with the screw
jumping.
attack,
I didn't want anything that could make me fly. I feel like I would actually be terrified to do anything like that.
Flying would be great. It's the landing would be the terrifying part.
The falling to your death when you panic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the 2 questions you sent in, Knock. We appreciate that. If you want to send questions, free to join up our Discord. Links to that are in the description of the podcast. And if you're watching the live show, links should be appearing thanks to the Nintendo Pals Discord bot. Next question here comes from Solo Something, and this one's directed towards Barry. Is there a lot of extra overhead and marketing incentives involved in adding bonus stuff to a physical run release, like a soundtrack, CD, a book, keychain, etc.?
I mean, there's obviously extra overhead in terms of cost, because all that stuff costs money, and there's actually extra overhead in terms of storage, because when you have product that has to store somewhere, so it's stored in a shipping facility, and the more you have, the more it costs per month to store. So there's definitely extra overhead. Marketing incentives, I mean, it's all incentives for people to purchase a special edition. Every special edition, it's all incentives for you to get it. You want the soundtrack? Well, that's your incentive to upgrade. You want that steelbook? Extra incentives. You want the art book? You want any cool stuff? That's the main incentive there. So it's a matter of finding a nice balance where you can really put some cool stuff with that look great and are good quality, without breaking the bank. Because if you say, oh, it's going to cost me $20 to get this in here, and I'm only going to charge you $20 extra, there's zero incentive for any company to do that, because the fact of the matter is a company would go out of business if they sold everything at cost. They have to make a profit, otherwise they're not going to make it. That's just economics 101. So it's a matter of finding that happy balance. And sometimes that's easier said than done. There were definitely things we wanted to do, and the cost was just too high. We couldn't justify it, so we had to say, all right, we need to do something else. Because we need to make sure that we could at least add a little extra profit that we can then put back into the company to keep doing cool stuff. Otherwise, we're treading water at that point, and no company treading water is going to last. But we also want these incentives to be good for people. We want it to be cool stuff. We don't want to just, like, for us personally, we don't just want to throw something in an edition just to have something in an edition. We want to do something that we would love, because we're collectors. So we want something really awesome in there that we would like to own for our own personal collection. And we definitely talk with the community, and we poll the community sometimes for bonus items, and we're always looking for new things and suggestions. But it all comes down to suppliers and costs. And as if you're a big company, you have big contracts in play. So those, you get better deals when you're a smaller company. A lot of, other companies will like strong arm you, like, oh, you're small, we can hit you up and charge you double because you have no choice but to pay it, which certainly hurts. Is that what happened to the deluxe editions? So the deluxe editions, for anyone that does know premium edition games, for Series 1 and 2, we did a deluxe edition. Came with a hard cover, like 180-page strategy guide, gilded in silver, beautiful, chronicling the history of the games and the physical process as well as the whole game, plus bonus stuff, Neo Geo case, a bunch of cool stuff. There's none in Series 3. One of the reasons is the state of the world. So the state of the world now is behind on everything. Like, shipping is terrible. I'm sure people have experienced that. There's delays.
Yep.
So our deluxe for Robot Named Fight is going to be shipping Q1 2022 expected. And we have to say expected because the books are made overseas. Like, we write, Jeff writes them here, sends them to our plant overseas. They're produced, and then they have to come here. Well, they come here on a freighter. And what used to be, 2 to 4 weeks is now 2 to 4 months, if not longer, just in a delay because everything's backed up. So we hate having people wait for that long to get their games. And plus, writing a book, you're writing a book, so that takes a lot of time. You can't just go 180 pages like that. That takes a lot of time. A Robot Named Fights, Jeff worked with Matt, the developer, so that guide is right from the developer's mouth. You're going to get some really cool insider stuff. that you're not going to get elsewhere. So that takes time to write as well. So when you factor in all those things, there's a huge delay in when deluxe is shipped. And thankfully, we have very patient customers who know that these are worth waiting for. But at the same time, we hate, people are getting their premiums and people are getting their retros, and people are like, well, I'd love to be able to play, but I'm stuck waiting on the deluxe. And we don't want to feel like we're punishing people for supporting us and getting the best version of the game. So we decided to instead do a third game and put the resources towards that instead, which is significantly more expensive than doing a deluxe, doing a third game. But we just wanted to try something and see how it is. And it's not to say deluxes aren't going to happen. We have a Kickstarter project, Sunshine Anthology, that will have a deluxe. But all these are just incentives. There's a lot to it. So when you look at any collector's edition or deluxe edition or special edition, you have to factor in each item in there costs X amount of money, and they had to get, they're not always done in the same facility.
Mhm.
A keychain could be produced in one facility, a manual in another, an art book in another, a soundtrack in another, and then they all have to ship to a location to be assembled. So that also costs money too, because those have to be pieced together. So if someone says, oh, this collector's edition is limited to 5,000 units, and it's like this big box stuff, that means 5,000 of these have to be assembled by hand.
Yeah, you're not
You
getting
have to-
like 4 packages. Here comes your keychain. Here comes your
Yeah,
your game.
so-
Like you
so
want
you're-
that all in a nice complete package.
Exactly.
For sure.
So that costs money too, because you have to pay for it to be assembled. So it's a lot of these costs that I think a lot of people don't realize exist. And I didn't even think about it until I got into the industry. But these are, in fact, costs and
Yeah.
things that have to be factored into profit.
So I have a follow-up question, kind of in the same line of thinking here. Do you guys ever add incentive type things, like keychains, like stickers, at a loss or at cost, in these bundles to try and juice up the package, or do you not do that ever?
We haven't done it at a loss, but we've done it at virtually breaking even in some cases. Like steelbooks hurt. Steelbooks are very expensive. They were more expensive than we originally thought they were going to be, which is why there's none right now in this edition. Where we're working on getting better rates if we can. But they are very expensive, and they are minimum 2,000 units in one facility and minimum 3,000 from a different facility that do steelbooks. So that's a lot of steelbooks. So you're paying quite a bit for them, which of course costs money. What we do is we do bonus incentives. So the deluxe of A Robot Named Fight, for example, there's a bonus item, completely bonus item. We did a poll in Discord. We said we were going to promise to do whatever we could to get the winning item as an additional bonus for everybody. For Series 3, there is a bonus item with all of our releases for pre-orders. That's the standards and the retros. We haven't announced what it is. It's just a bonus item for thanking everybody for pre-ordering. You're just going to get it. So at $40 and $60, you're already getting a great value and on all the stuff. But then we're going to throw in something else. We're just not telling you what it is yet. We want it to be a surprise when people open their thing. But it's a free item. So whether you like it or not, it's going to, not
upset at least.
Yeah.
It can't please everybody. Some people may go, well, this is fantastic. Or some people may say, I would have rather had this.
Yeah,
You're
listen,
getting it
guys,
for free.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's better than the reward for completing the Pokedex in Pokemon. That's all I'll say. That's all I'm gonna say.
So yeah, there are things like that we try to do, but again, it all comes down to costs. It all comes down to what's feasible. I think when we announced our deluxe for Pigeon Dev, we had stickers. Was one of the items was a sticker, and if you buy it right now, the deluxe, you're not getting a sticker because when we were quoted it was something stupid, like $2 or $3 a sticker.
Yeah, stickers are expensive right now.
To put in, or maybe it was like $4. It was like, what? Are you kidding me? $4 a sticker per edition? I mean, we had 1,000 of them, so we had to multiply. No, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we were looking into doing
opted
stickers for Nintendo Pals, and it was like, I was like appalled. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is like I could go buy a printer and the materials to make this for cheaper than like going in and buying the. It's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
And I
if
think
there's
it's
something
just,
like that,
it's just the timing, right? Like, you know, with the pandemic, and everything being behind on shipping and manufacturing facilities being short staffed, there's so many factors causing a lot of delays on things when we need those things the most, like shipping type stuff.
Exactly, and so that means costs go up on everything. So you'll very rarely see a company sell things at a loss. You know, systems you'll see, like, you know, the PlayStation, Xbox, specifically the Xbox, are usually sold at losses. Nintendo doesn't sell their systems at losses. But like I said, like we've sold almost breaking even at some points where we should have been like, you know, oh, this should have been more expensive. Like we should have charged more. But we're trying to keep our prices consistent at the moment with the 40, 60, and 100 for the deluxe. I can't say they're going to stay that way forever, because if costs keep rising, we're at no choice but to raise them a little bit. Just like everything else, it's like you go to a restaurant and it's like, oh, this burger used to cost me $8 and now it's $10. Well, the price of all the ingredients went up, so the restaurant has to raise the price just to stay in business.
I still miss the $1 McChickens.
I missed the $1 menu, and the McChickens were good.
That's like exclusively what I get when I go to McDonald's.
Solo something. Thank you so much for the question, Barry. Thanks for the answer. Like, it's really fun. I like learning about this stuff, the behind the scenes kind of stuff. If you like hearing this kind of stuff, definitely go out and subscribe to and listen to Switch Mania Playcast.
Yes.
I mean, that's what they talk about. They talk about all the behind the scenes, what's going on for premium edition stuff, premium edition games, all that jazz. Next question here comes from Frosticles. It says, what is your Nintendo Christmas wish list of games you may have missed out on this year? So are there any titles that you've thrown onto your wish list that you want but haven't picked up yet? And yeah, I guess we'll limit it to releases this year or recent. So no Breath of the Wild like I had. My favorite Zelda game, guys. Oh, gosh. I'm embarrassed to say that
I'll allow you to put Xenoblade Chronicles on there again. Even though it was last year.
No. So, yes, I'm putting it. Yeah, definitive edition. Xenoblade Chronicles, for sure, is on my list. I don't know. I've picked up a lot of what came out this year for Nintendo. You guys got anything? I'll quickly Google search here on what came out.
Every game.
Every game.
If I had the means, I'd get every game. No, but I mean, I didn't get a Mario Golf, which I want. The new Mario Party, haven't picked up. I would also like that one. WarioWare, the Monkey Ball, Mania. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Banana Mania.
Banana Mania. Yeah, I would love. I mean, I had so much fun with those games, especially the first and second. Back in the day, I love that one as well.
Yeah, I'll throw that on my list as well. Super Monkey Ball, Banana Mania.
Although I heard that one doesn't have online, which is a big bummer.
They also ruined Monkey Target, just an FYI.
Oh, did they?
Like, they destroyed it.
That was like the best one.
I know.
What did they do?
They made it so like the gravity is like 150. Like you fly up there, and if you have to like hold back on the analog stick at a perfect angle to slowly glide, otherwise you sink. And even when you're doing it perfectly, you can still sink. Like if you just play Monkey Target the way you normally play Monkey Target, you're not even reaching the goal.
Sounds like they put the Wii version in.
Well, it's Monkey 2. Monkey Ball 2 is Monkey Target.
Yeah.
But which is not as good as
Monkey
Monkey
Target
1.
on the Wii, it was horrible.
Well, that's what this is.
Controls.
Like if you Google like Monkey Banana Mania, Monkey Target, you'll see tons of complaints. Like, it ruined it.
Yeah. Just like most of the games on my wish list are like games I could play online, since all my friends have been slowly spreading farther and farther away.
Sucks. Part of getting older.
I'm in the complete opposite end of the country from him now.
A traitor.
Which is a bummer. Barry, you got anything on your Christmas wish list?
My stuff is actually just more old stuff, because I'm one of those insane people, one of the few left, that is going for a full English and US set for the Switch, because we have not, despite how crazy it is, have yet to jump off the bandwagon. So I'm still sitting at 100% of the set that's in English, and it is insane.
Wow. That is incredibly impressive.
Physical, not digital. Physical.
Yeah. No, there's no way. Digital. My goodness, you'd have to have a fortune. Oh my goodness. So old stuff. So you're looking retro, right? Like
more retro, but retro prices are going crazy. So it's more like stuff that no one talks about. Like, I love the history of things, the quirky things, the things that no one really talks about. I will find fascinating, because to me, if no one knows about it, it's a conversation piece. If it's like, oh, I have a copy of Super Mario Brothers 1, it's a conversation piece because everyone shares a memory, but it's not like, oh, that's cool. It's I like the stuff that people go like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of this before in my life. And then I love to be able to educate and talk about that part of the industry, because there's a lot of forgotten parts, including the history of Nintendo.
Yeah. So what do you got on that list? If you want to show games you're looking to snag.
It's not necessarily games; it's more systems.
Okay.
Just like a lot of special editions or forgotten about versions. But I also like the stuff that even before Nintendo got into video gaming, I collect. Like one of the things they did, which I do have, and I was thankful to be able to find one, is a home cotton candy machine that they sold in Japan that you could put in your kitchen, and you could make cotton candy, that has the funnel and everything. Nintendo made it just for your kitchen, so you can have cotton candy at the home, fresh cotton candy.
Does it still work?
It does, but I would not trust it. But it works.
That is awesome. That's super.
So
cool.
I like stuff like that. Like the stuff no one talks about, and then it becomes a conversation and an educational piece. I just love history.
Yeah. So I along those same lines, like I said, I've picked up a lot of the big titles that I want this year. This is one of the first years that I feel like I've had expendable income to do that kind of thing. So I've picked up most everything I want. But some potentials on my Christmas wish list, I would say Game Builder Garage. It's not one I picked up because I knew I wouldn't really get a ton of playtime into it, but it looked interesting. It looked fun. I might get some flack for this one, but Monster Hunter Rise is another.
Why would you get flack?
You haven't got that yet?
Well, just because I haven't picked it up yet. That's why. Because a lot of people, it was ranted and raved about, but I have never gotten into Monster Hunter. This was another one that I picked up on the shelf at GameStop. Was like, it's $25. That's that is a really good deal for Monster Hunter Rise. I should have made the jump, but again, talked myself out of it. I have too much to play and not enough time.
See, Rise I tried and I couldn't get into, but Hunter Stories 2, absolutely loved it. Loved it. Amazing game.
Yeah, so okay, throw that one on my list too. Monster Hunter Stories 2. Let's put that on there.
If you like turn-based RPGs with like Pokemon Monster Hunt collecting, you'll love it.
Nintendo DC Superhero Teen Girl. No, I'm just kidding. That's that. That one's not on my list. But I was Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I'm gonna put that on here as a maybe.
That was just on sale, Best Buy.
Yeah, it's one I was interested in, but felt like it's not
betray Smash Brothers.
Well, I'm not betraying Smash Bros. Because I probably wouldn't play it, and that's why I ultimately decided not to pick it up. And that's
you could always play the Warner Brothers version that's coming out next year for free.
Yeah, but not the Switch. Not the Switch, which is really lame. But that one does look interesting. Here's the thing. We talked about this in our last episode, but none of these games are really going to be able to live up to Smash Bros. They're all, you look at these and you're like, yeah, it's a Smash clone. And that's unfortunate. I do feel like Brawlhalla and some of these indie titles do a fantastic job. And I actually heard Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was very good. but
I heard that too.
it looks like a Nickelodeon game. You know, like they just didn't quite. They're not quite hitting the aesthetic that Smash Bros. Hits. And then Brawlhalla took it a totally different direction. It's very stylized, but Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and Multiverses by Warner Bros. Just look generic to me. They look like a game that I shouldn't pay full price for, which I won't be for Multiverses. It's free, but but you know what I'm saying? Like you go to the store and you see Mario Kart, and then you see Nicktoons Kart Racer, and they're both priced at the same price. Who's gonna pick up Nickelodeon Kart Racer? You look at the cover art and you're like, this is knockoff of the game next to it. Like it's Nickelodeon.
I'll tell you who's gonna buy it. Parents of kids who love Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And that's what it is. That's what they are. That's what they are. They are just traps for parents to buy. They're like, this is a not as good version of another game. But I am glad to hear that All-Star Brawl actually plays pretty well. It's very fun. A lot of people really like it. So yeah, that's it for me. That's it for me. Thank you so much for the question, Frosticles. Next question here is from K9 Cantina. What game would you, without a doubt, purchase again just to have a physical release of it for the collection? Barry, we'll let you start with this one. This is your thing.
Well, since pretty much I only purchase physical games, there's a lot of games that I would love to see.
Yeah, what do you want? What do
get
you
the
want?
physical.
Yeah, what do you want to see?
What I would love to see, and if I had purchased the digital, I would absolutely double dip. Well, first off, Voice of Cards, I did purchase that digitally. I would double dip on that physical. I'd love to see the Famicom Detective Club games that Nintendo just put out released physically as a nice 2-pack, but Nintendo still won't answer my calls. I would love to see the Fire Emblem 1 that they did digitally and then removed. I would love to see that physically put out. Since that's now gone, you can't even download it.
Physical good.
I know, and it's just a code. It was such a waste, and it's so insulting. If they put a physical card in there, man, that would have been amazing. But yeah, you can't even download it. So I'd love to get a physical and preserve the English version of that. Square is a big caveat here. There's the Star Ocean games that are there that are digital only. I'd love to see those. Obviously, Final Fantasy 15 had the Pocket edition. I'd love to get that physical. If they do the the Pixel remasters, if they ever come to Switch, I'd love to get those in a physical compilation.
Yeah, that would be really good.
ActRaiser, Ghosts and Goblins, the remakes of those, I would love to.
Gosh,
get
now that you're
those
going
physical.
through this list, I'm like, holy cow, there's a lot that should.
What I would absolutely love is if it was ported to the Switch and then released physical, are the Konami Rebirth games, which were WiiWare and now gone. So if you don't have them downloaded, you can't play them. You get Castlevania, Gradius, you Contra.
Yeah, those are so good too.
So good. Let's get a physical collection. Preserve this stuff, because if Scott Pilgrim taught us anything, we really need to not have digital only, especially for these big games, because they can go away and they can be gone. And yes, Scott Pilgrim is back. That took a lot to finally get it. And even when Ubisoft announced it coming back, they didn't announce the physical, which was the biggest slap in the face. Thankfully, Limited Run was able to do that and now have it physically. But that should be a warning flag. And I'm not an advocate against digital releases. I'm an advocate against digital only releases. I think giving people the choice, and for definitely preservation, complete on cart games or complete on disc games for those systems, absolutely, hands down, should be.
Well, that's a better answer than I have. I think I am gonna say a Spelunky 1 and 2 pack for a physical release. For the
think
Switch.
That's coming physical.
I believe it is. So I think I will double dip on that. Especially since we got a review copy for that one. So it won't really be a double dip. It'll be a single dip into the physical. I love those games. I think I would get a physical version of that. Yeah, I think that's. I'll just give that one for my answer. Besides all the things Barry listed, I mean, all of those really do deserve a physical release, especially the more retro style games. Like, here's the thing: if you're releasing a retro game remake, you kind of gotta pay that homage to the physical cartridge that they originally came on. And if you're doing digital only releases of those, it really is a bummer. I mean, like, especially since there are companies like Barry's, like Limited Run, like there's a bunch now that do these limited physical release games, and like, tap into those guys. Like, the big guys can tap into those. I feel like you guys would like jump for joy if Square was like, hey, could you do voice of cards for us? Like,
oh god, in a heartbeat.
Like, yeah,
Heartbeat.
Like why not utilize those? Because
see, I was gonna say, that's another thing, is you mentioned limited production companies. Like, we're actually not that. We do a production order, we do open pre-orders, but we're not opposed to reprints down the line if there's enough interest. Like, a lot of these companies are one and done, you missed out, screw you. We're not opposed to that if there's enough interest. So it's really interesting to see the interest in physical games. It's growing. There is definitely an interest in that. And yeah, voice of cards, hands down.
Yeah.
Yoko Taro, I'd love to talk to him and get that going.
That would be super cool. Micah, you got an answer for this one?
Yeah, don't hate me, Barry, but I don't think there are any games that I would double dip just for the collection factor.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone collects differently. Everyone plays differently.
I mean, I do think collections and having collections are really cool, but I'd essentially rather put that money towards getting new games to play.
And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Look,
Yeah.
I'll hate on you for not playing Xenoblade. I'll hate on you for your cheeseless pizza bull. But I will not hate on you for enjoying your games the way you want to enjoy them and play.
What if in some cooking game I made cheeseless pizzas?
Well, as long as it's not mining Bitcoin, then you're good to go.
Oh, man. The thing is, Micah and I actually do buy a lot of our games physical, just out of practice. I get everything.
I prefer
Nintendo
physical.
first.
Essentially, indie games are all digital for the most part.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most everything else.
Things not available. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's where a lot of people are. And so when a physical version is available, and especially when it's available day and date when a game launches, that's so nice. Yeah, that's the way I'll go for sure. Most of the time. Unfortunately, like Barry alluded to earlier, a lot of games are not even truly a physical release, because then you have to download day one patches, and like Pokemon.
Well, that's one of those things where I don't mind waiting for a game as long as the physical is complete.
Yep.
Because a lot of times games don't launch complete, or they have updates. And a lot of Hollow Knight waited to do a physical when all the DLC was done. They're doing that with Cuphead, which still has yet to announce when the physical is actually coming. I have respect for that. I don't mind when a game launches digital only, just to be announced there's a physical coming later. We're making sure all the bugs are done, because a lot of games launch with bugs too, let's be honest. Yeah. All the patches done, all the content done, you're getting the complete package. To me, that is awesome. That is the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it's announced as like this is in the plans, because a lot of them there is nothing, and so you're like, well, I guess I kind of have to pick up the digital because it's not going to.
That depends on the developer. If the developer is not a physical developer or a physical publisher, like the digital distribution, the digital publisher doesn't do physical themselves, they won't announce it. They have to get partnerships. So, for example, like we did Super Blood Hockey as our first game. Well, the digital publisher of that is Digerati Games. So Digerati and us, we had a talk, and we agreed to go ahead and do the physical. So they didn't know about it at the launch because they don't do physicals. They shop their games around to physical publishers, and then the physical publishers then pick them up and make the magic happen that way. So it's almost impossible to do it at launch with some of these games. unfortunately. Except Kickstarter. Kickstarter games, you're able to do that.
Yep. K9, thank you so much for the question. Let's head to... We got 2 more questions here, and then we'll close out the show. Spider-Shan asks, with the update to Mario Golf, do you feel it is complete, or is there anything you think is still missing? Also, why do you think that Nintendo keeps announcing last free update on things? I don't remember other companies doing that sort of thing. That is a good point on this, on the second half of that question. It seems to be kind of a new thing that Nintendo's doing, and I think it's to curb expectations. That'd be my guess, because constantly people are asking for DLC, for new this, for new that. I mean, I don't recommend going and looking at Nintendo's Twitter, but if you look in the comments, it's like, new Smash Bros. Fighter when? I mean, they're done. so stop asking that. But like, just constantly asking and wanting those. So setting the expectation up front, like, we're doing this DLC, it's the last one. That's the I think that's a good thing. The openness in that communication. The way that they phrase it as last free update, though, always to me makes me think automatically like, oh, there's going to be some paid DLC coming. I
wonder sometimes I say that just in case they decide to add in some paid.
Yeah, like as a we'll keep the option open, and if we do, it's going to be paid. I don't know. The first half of the question, I guess I'll give my answer. I feel like Mario Golf is a complete game right now. I do think it could have more stuff to it. But what's there, it's complete to me. I feel like there's enough game there to get your full money's worth of time out of. I mean, if you equate time to money, which I really don't in my gameplay, I felt like with the addition of New Donk City and they added another snowy course. I can't remember what that one's called. I felt like at that point the game was solid. Maybe at launch the map there wasn't quite enough courses for my liking. I think it maybe needed a little bit more. So these new two new courses are just extra to me as far as completeness for the game.
For me, I didn't play Mario Golf, so
but
it's hard for me to answer. I have it. I just haven't played it. To answer the first part, I guess anything that people would want, more is always good in terms of new courses, new players, new modes, because all that stuff is optional. So more the merrier. As for the second, I'm with you. I think the openness and the honesty is really good. Let you know, hey, there's no more coming. Like, this is it. Put the game away after you're done. That's what you're getting. And if there's paid DLC afterwards, we didn't lie to you. We just said that was the last free. It's kind of like when, people were mad at Nintendo for the 3D All-Stars is stopping print by March 31st, 2021. People are like, oh my God, why'd you make a physical game limited, blah, blah, blah. Here's a fun fact. Every game physically is a limited print run. Every game is.
At some point,
At some point, they stop producing. They're just told you when. I mean, if a game keeps selling a lot, like, Animal Crossing is still being produced, but eventually they're going to stop. And some games only get one print run, and historically, those are the ones that are worth a lot of money in the secondhand market because there's fewer out there. You say, oh, Animal Crossing is going to, there's like 30-something million Animal Crossing New Horizons. There's plenty of them out there. So it's going to, be worth whatever it's worth, but some games only get a small print. And when they only get a small print, there's fewer out there. I mean, it's economics. So if Nintendo's going to be continuing being open and honest, I'm all for that. I think that's great. Keep that honesty, keep that communication. When they take away digital games like 3D All-Stars and Fire Emblem, then they're just being stupid.
It doesn't really make any sense. You are right in that regard. Micah?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it either, so I can't really judge the first half. But for the second part, I kind of wonder if sometimes they're just like, yeah, there aren't going to be any more free updates So all y'all who are waiting for more updates for it to be worth it to buy it, you might as well just buy it now, or don't bother. Essentially, but yeah, I do like how they let us know.
They're
Yeah.
also timing it with the holiday season. See, perfect.
Yeah,
Like you
it's
just said,
all a
time to buy.
marketing ploy. Might as well buy it now. There's nothing else coming.
That was a fantastic question from Spider Shan, given to us on Discord. Thank you so much, Spider Shan. Last question here from Rizzle asks, what is your favorite snack for a long gaming session? Now, let's not say cheese.
Yeah, don't be disgusting.
Oh, man. Micah, you want to take this one first? What do you...
My favorite snack for long gaming sessions. I mean, it can't be... There can't be like too much sugar or candy base, because that starts to get a little... I feel a little sick if I eat too much of that. So my preferable long gaming snack is frozen blueberry Eggo waffles.
You just eat them straight frozen?
Frozen?
Yeah. Oh yeah, frozen. They're like a delicious popsicle.
Oh my!
That is so weird.
It's so delicious.
You know, you not liking cheese is starting to make a lot more sense now.
This explains a lot.
It's because of your taste in waffles.
They are delicious. You got to try it. It's a nice way to keep cool in the summer heat.
I'm just going to take your word for it. You keep enjoying it. I'll have my waffles toasted.
Oh, you're missing out, yo.
Toasted Eggo waffles are a fantastic gaming snack as well. So that's good. For me, I'm following your logic a bit here, Micah. You don't want something too sugary because you don't want to like overdo it on the sugar intake. I don't want something sticky, right? Or too or have too much
messy.
Of that like seasoning powder or something like that. Like Cheetos, no go. Doritos, nope. There's like, because you get that on your controller. I mean, it's just not good. So I'd probably go with like very lightly buttered popcorn, because it's something long term that's going to fill you up, and give you like the crunch and the flavor, but not be quite as messy as something as like chips. That's my go-to. I'd say. Like so if I get like microwave popcorn, that's going to be too messy. So it has to be something that you like home pop, like a home popcorn popper. Yeah. Barry, what do you got for us? What's your gaming snack?
I don't have one. I don't snack when I game, because whatever I eat, it's going to make my hands dirty or messy or sticky, and I don't want to screw up my controller. So I can sit there for hours, and if I'm focused in on a good game and a good RPG or something, I don't need a snack. Maybe a bottle of water.
This is how we solve world hunger right now.
Yeah.
Just make everybody
Give everyone
gamers.
video games.
Yeah. See, I set my meals, and I don't usually snack in between meals. So I'll stop, push pause, go have my lunch. I'll eat my lunch, and then wash my hands afterwards, and brush my teeth, and then I'll go back to it.
I have like no rhyme or reason to when I eat. It's when I get hungry, and it seems to differ vastly.
I am a constant snacker, and I feel like I do have to eat while I game. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I do it. But yeah, it's probably
like
healthier.
When going to the movies. I see so many people go to the movies, like I have to hit the concession stand. I'll go to the movies, go right to my seat. I don't eat anything during the movie. I'm just good.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind eating things during the movie if they didn't cost like 10,000 times as much.
But at least like movies, TV, stuff like that. Like there, I will eat while watching, because I don't need to use my hands at all. I'm literally just watching.
Yeah.
But when I'm playing a game, even especially if it's competitive, I can't take my hand off the controller.
Yeah. I actually also don't really eat that much while gaming, and it definitely has to be something that doesn't mess up your hands.
I'm a loading screen snacker. That's my my.
When the loading screen hits, you start shoveling it in.
K9 puts out a new point too. Going to the bathroom during movies sucks. So if you don't eat or drink during the movie and you just focus on it, you don't have to get up.
That's
Or you just bring
true.
diapers.
That's
Then you can do what you want.
Yes, you could absolutely use adult diapers if you really, really need to.
That's that'll be an adventure that I will not be partaking in with Micah. Well, with adventures partaking in speaking of adventures with Micah, that is a wrap on our episode here. But before we go, I wanted to give a chance for Barry to shout, like, plug all your stuff, shout out yourself here, tell Nintendo pals, fans, and fellow friends and pals where to find you and your stuff.
Absolutely. So on Twitter, you could find me at Hawk Hellfire. So please feel free to follow, send DMs. I love to just talk video games and gaming history, and always up for
And he
chatting and making
he
new friends.
checks his DMs, just to clarify, where I don't. So
Yes, I do check my DM. You could also find me with Nintendo Fuse at nintendofuse.com and youtube.com/NintendoFuse, as well as on Twitter and Facebook at Nintendo Fuse. We do our podcast bi-weekly every other Monday. And our next show is going to be December 6th, which is going to be our final one for 2021. It's our big Game of the Year episode where we do all our rankings. So in our Discord, we do have a Discord where you can join. We do ask everybody their rankings, and we make a big event of it every year. It's a lot of fun just to reflect back in the previous year. And then premiumeditiongames.com. You could absolutely go there and right now purchase our Series 3. They will end on December 16th. That is the last day to be able to pre-order these 3 titles. That's Cathedral, Phenotopia Awakening, and Mighty Fight Federation. So do not miss out. The retros are very limited, and the premium standards are open pre-order.
When this podcast goes live, this is that will be Monday the 29th on podcast platforms. So for those listening to this day one, you have a little less than 3 weeks to go out and pick that up.
Yeah, so you still have time.
So
you could also find. Yeah, don't miss out.
Yeah.
You could also find us on Twitter at Premium Edition 1. We do also have a Premium Edition Discord, so please feel free to join that. We have like a suggest a release channel in there, so we do want to hear your thoughts because we miss a lot of games. Phenotopia Awakening, for example, was brought to us by somebody else. Somebody else alerted us to it, and now it's coming to fruition. So if there's a game you want to see made physical, let us know. And we can't promise everything, but we will do our best to make it a reality. We also have a Twitch that we just started. Our good buddy, teammate Frank is doing that. I just joined him last night. As of the time of this recording, we did our second stream, and we're just having some fun there too. But the whole Premium Edition team is we're all thankful to everybody who does support us.
What's the Twitch tag on that?
I think it's just twitch.tv/Premium Edition Games, I believe.
All right, sweet.
Is
easy to find.
Yes, Premium Edition Games. That's what it is. So thank you so much to having me here and to everybody who's choosing to support us, because we wouldn't exist without everybody.
Yes. Speaking of not being able to exist without everybody, I do want to right now give a huge thanks to everybody that has been listening to our show, who's gone out and left the podcast a 5-star review, has gone out and subscribed to our YouTube channel. We are working extra hard to grow our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, and we can only do that with your help. So thank you to those that have. This is the first week, Micah, in like 5 weeks that we have not had a new 5-star review. So the streak is broken, but let's bring it back, y'all. We have 40% of our listening audience uses Apple Podcast. So, and I know, and there's no way that 40% has all left us a 5-star review. So just go down and do it. It's real quick. You're already here. Just go in and just boop, 5 stars. Yup, pretty good podcast. Awesome. And that's where you throw those 5-star reviews. It helps us move up in the rankings, helps us get seen by awesome people like Barry, who found our show, started following us, and jumped on here. And we're super grateful that you came on, shared some absolutely awesome gems that you guys are working on, putting out there in physical releases and really cool projects. So again, huge thanks, Barry. Thank you for coming on, and
Thank you for having me.
Please, everybody listening, go check out Premium Edition Games, and all of Barry's projects, all his podcasts and all that stuff. Yeah. You just have so many things to plug. It's so great. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about the Switch Mania Playcast, which we do as a weekly show, which is the Premium Edition team where we actually do behind the scenes stuff for like all the Premium Edition stuff. Plus, we do a game of the episode, which is like a game of the week, like a book club that we talk about as well.
And
so
y'all are
you could
about to do your 100th episode, or is it 50?
we were actually about to do our 100th episode. We actually filmed or recorded our 101st because all three of us couldn't be there, and we want to have all three of us for 100. So we're gonna see how many episodes we go past 100 before we go back to 100. But you could actually listen to it on all podcast streams, just like Nintendo Fuse. You could find us on all podcast streams, and on PremiumEditionGames.com. There's actually a banner on the top for the Switch Mania Playcast. And in addition to that, we also have some of our panels from shows are being uploaded there. So if you can't go to some conventions, you can still listen in on some of the panels.
Yes, and that is a very, very cool show. That's where I listen to Barry, but I will definitely be checking out Nintendo Fuse after this because, I listen to a lot of Nintendo podcasts, and it's an absolute blast. Micah, am I forgetting anything? You can follow us if you want to follow us. We're at Nintendo Pals on Twitter. We're at Nintendo Pals Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And please hop over to our YouTube channel, give us a sub, and also to our Twitch to drop a follow over there. We're speedrunning our way to 200 followers on Twitch, and hopefully get that soon. It's just going up. So with that, we'll turn it over to Barry. Give us a closing remark here.
Just remember that if your pizza has no cheese, it is not pizza.
Oh, thank you so much, Barry, and we'll talk to y'all next week.